everyone, welcome back to Learner's World. Today's video is yet another Did You Know video. This one is over just some weird laws in the US. I'll have a Quizlet linked in the description box below if you want to check that out. So without further ado, let's get started. Starting off with laws in Alabama. So in Alabama, it is illegal to organize or participate in bear wrestling matches. Bear wrestling might sound like something from a traveling circus, but it was once popular enough in Alabama to prompt legislative action. This law is designed to prevent animal cruelty. It reflects a shift in values toward animal welfare, even if its premise seems absurd at first glance. It's also a misdemeanor in Alabama to wear a fake mustache to church that makes people laugh. This was likely created to maintain decorum in religious services. In Montgomery, it is illegal to open an umbrella in the street. This law dates back to when it startled horses, and the horses, when startled, could cause accidents. So the law was put in place to avoid spooking horses. It's also a misdemeanor in Alabama if you pretend to be a minister, priest, nun, or rabbi. Dressing as one of these can lead to a $500 fine and jail time. It was passed by the Alabama legislature in 1965 because it is viewed as disrespecting the religion and disrespecting those who put their faith in the religion. Next, in Alaska, it is illegal to wake a bear for a photo opportunity, primarily to prevent dangerous human-wildlife encounters and protect both parties. The law exists because interrupting a resting bear, especially a hibernating or groggy one, triggers a severe angry defensive response. It protects people from dangerous attacks and keeps bears wild by preventing unsafe natural interactions. In Alaska, it's also against the law to give alcohol to a moose, primarily for public safety and animal welfare reasons, specifically stemming from a 1970s incident in Fairbanks where a moose named Buzzwinkle ate fermented apples, became intoxicated, and caused chaos. A drunken 1,000-plus pound animal poses a severe danger to the public and itself. In Alaska, carrying a concealed slingshot requires a hunting license, rather a valid Alaska concealed weapon permit or permitless carry qualification. Because state law classifies it as a dangerous weapon, slingshots are grouped with firearms, knives, and brass knuckles as instruments capable of inflicting harm. Stringing a tripwire over any road is forbidden in Alaska. It creates a hidden, indiscriminate, and life-threatening hazard for the public. Such actions are considered booby traps, which are illegal in Alaska and across the United States because they cannot distinguish between trespassers and legitimate users such as law enforcement, emergency personnel, or innocent bystanders. In Arizona, it is illegal to cut down or unearth a saguaro cactus with penalties up to 25 years in prison. It is illegal and heavily penalized to protect these slow-growing 150 to 200-year lifespan cacti. It's also a plant that is ecologically vital and culturally significant as a desert icon. It is protected under the Arizona Native Plant Protection Act. They are key to the ecosystem and sacred to indigenous communities. Bolo tie is the state's official neckwear. It was adopted to honor the state's Western heritage and is a common culturally significant accessory in the Southwest. In Alaska, knowingly tripping a horse is a serious misdemeanor. Knowing or intentionally tripping a horse or equine for entertainment or sport is classified as a Class 1 misdemeanor. This act, known in Arizona revised statutes as equine tripping, is strictly prohibited and carries mandatory minimum penalties. In Arkansas, alligators are not allowed to be kept in bathtubs. So while it is not explicitly illegal to put an alligator in a bathtub, it is illegal to possess an American alligator as a pet, per Arkansas Code R110-12.01. The code prohibits holding, buying, or selling them. In Arkansas, it is also illegal to buy or sell blue light bulbs. It is legal to buy or sell flashing blue emergency lights or blue lens caps because they are strictly reserved for law enforcement and coroners, with violations considered a Class C felony. This restriction was enacted in 1997 to prevent civilians from impersonating police officers following a series of crimes by the blue light rapist. Next, in California, licking toads is prohibited in Los Angeles. So, licking the Sonoran desert toads, or as their scientific name is, Bufo alvarius, found in parts of Southern California, is prohibited primarily because the toad's defensive milky toxin contains 5-MeO-DMT, which is a potent illegal Schedule I psychoactive substance. This secretion can cause a severe illness, paralysis, or death in humans and pets rather than just a high. In California, it is legal to wear fake whiskers in public to disguise your identity. So, yes, we're talking about fake beards or mustaches here with the intent of committing a crime or evading police. Apparently, old school criminals were getting too creative in the 1800s. California Penal Code 185 is still out there keeping things whisker-free. In California, cursing on a miniature golf course is banned in Long Beach. This is to ensure a family-friendly, peaceful, and kid-appropriate environment. The specific local ordinance aims to curb disruptive, vulgar language, often stemming from frustration during the game, ensuring the recreational space remains comfortable for all patrons. In Colorado, so in Pueblo, it is illegal to let dandelions grow taller than 10 inches in city limits. City codes regulate weed height, including dandelions. This is primarily to manage fire hazards, prevent pest infestations, and maintain property aesthetics. Allowing weeds to grow over 10 inches is deemed a public nuisance because tall, dry weeds pose a significant fire risk and obstruct visibility. In Denver, Colorado, dog catchers must post notices for 3 days about impounded dogs. So dog catchers and animal protection officers are required to post notices of impounded dogs for a minimum of 3 days to comply with legal requirements aimed at reuniting lost pets with their owners before the animals are deemed abandoned. The notice period acts as a public notification system, ensuring that owners have a reasonable chance to locate their pets. Colorado Parks and Wildlife, or CPW, prohibits keeping most animals that are wild normally as pets, even if it was hand-raised. This is to ensure public safety, prevent the spread of diseases like rabies and parasites, and protect the welfare of the animals, which cannot live properly in captivity. Hand-raised animals become habituated to humans, making them unable to survive in the wild, often forcing officials to euthanize them. All eggs sold in Colorado must come from cage-free hens due to HB 20-1343. This is a law passed in 2020 that took full effect on January 1st, 2025. This mandate requires that egg-laying hens in facilities with 3,000 or more birds have at least 1.5 square feet of floor space and access to perches aimed at improving animal welfare by allowing natural behaviors. In Connecticut, so in Hartford, Connecticut, it is legal to cross a street while in a handstand. So this is generally cited as illegal to cross a street while in a handstand primarily for public safety and traffic flow reasons. Well, often listed among weird or dumb laws, this rule functions as a common safety regulation against obstructing traffic or engaging in reckless, dangerous behavior on public roads. It is illegal for a beautician or hairdresser in Connecticut to hum, sing, or whistle while working on a client. This is specific to the city of Waterbury, Connecticut. Experts suggest the law stemmed from strict early New England religious guidelines regarding music, dance, and leisure, which frowned upon such public displays of revelry. The regulation was intended to ensure that the stylist remained fully focused on the task at hand, preventing distractions and ensuring a serious professional atmosphere. In Delaware, hunting and horse racing are technically prohibited, on Sundays. Hunting and historically other activities like horse racing in Delaware were restricted on Sundays due to blue laws. So it was puritanical colonial-era regulations designed to enforce Sunday as a day of rest and to encourage church attendance. While most blue laws have been replaced, Sunday hunting restrictions specifically persisted in Delaware for nearly a century until 2016, with gradual expansions allowing hunting on private land and certain public lands to address conservation, crop damage, and promote the sport. In Delaware, whispering or using profane language in a place of worship is prohibited. The old regulation was designed to maintain respectful silence during worship services, though its origins remain somewhat murky. Picnicking on highways is not permitted, primarily to ensure public safety, manage traffic flow, and prevent illegal activity. Specific regulations, particularly in coastal areas like Fenwick Island, strictly prohibit standing, sitting, eating, or drinking on any street or highway while using a vehicle as a picnic facility. Also in Delaware, it is illegal to fertilize lawns with chicken manure in Georgetown. So it is illegal to apply manure-based fertilizers, including chicken manure, on lawns from December 7th to February 15th. These regulations, established by the Delaware Nutrient Management Commission, aim to prevent nutrient runoff during winter months, protecting local waterways from excess nitrogen and phosphorus that cause algae blooms. Next, in Florida, parking meter fee must be paid if you tie an elephant, goat, or alligator to it. So this originates from the Ringling Brothers Circus arriving in Sarasota in the early 1900s. The rule requiring parking meter fees for tied-up animals serves to ensure that the albeit unlikely use of parking infrastructure by any animal still requires payment, preventing misuse of the parking spot. It is illegal to feed alligators or crocodiles in the wild. This is because it causes the reptiles to lose their natural fear of humans and associate people with food, creating dangerous high-risk situations for public safety. This behavior modification often leads to increased aggression and requires the animal to be killed, as they no longer fear humans. In Florida, it is illegal to sing in a swimsuit in Sarasota. So in Sarasota, Florida, an old city law likely originating from the 1940s made it illegal to sing while wearing a bathing suit in public. This ordinance was created for morality reasons and to keep public beaches orderly, serving as a now obsolete attempt to regulate public behavior and modesty. In Florida, women can be fined for falling asleep under a hairdryer in a salon, a regulation that can result in fines for both the customer and the salon owner. The obscure law is generally considered a weird Florida law that originated as a safety measure during a time when older salon-style hooded dryers posed risks of overheating, sparking, or causing burns if left unattended. In Georgia, it is unlawful to keep a donkey in a bathtub. Reportedly stems from an incident in the 1920s when a donkey was washed away in a flooded bathtub, leading to significant rescue efforts. A donkey that liked to sleep in bathtubs got caught in a flood, and the town spent a lot of resources trying to rescue it. And also in Georgia, citizens in Ackworth are required to own a rake. This ordinance was put in place to prevent accidents caused by fallen leaves on walkways and roads. In Gainesville, Georgia, it is technically illegal to eat fried chicken with something other than your hands. The law was created as a publicity stunt to brand the city as the poultry capital of the world. In Hawaii, it is illegal to put coins in your ears, with origins frequently linked to historical efforts to protect currency and more recently associated with identifying drug dealers. While this is often listed among dumb laws that are rarely enforced, the rumored reasons behind it date back over a century. It is unlawful to annoy birds in public in Honolulu. It is unlawful to annoy, harass, or feed birds in public parks, primarily to protect native species and manage public health nuisances. These regulations, including Hawaii Code R 13-146-41, aim to stop the disturbance of wildlife and prevent the spread of disease and property damage caused by high concentrations of feral birds such as pigeons. In Hawaii, they banned billboards to preserve scenic views. Hawaii banned billboards in 1927, long before statehood, primarily to protect its natural landscape and scenic unobstructed views of the ocean and mountains, such as Diamond Head. The legislation aimed to eliminate visual pollution and commercial clutter, recognizing the pristine, beautiful surroundings are essential to the state's identity and tourism-driven economy. It is illegal to have more than one alcoholic beverage in front of you at one time in Hawaii. Regulations generally prohibit having more than one alcoholic beverage in front of a person at a time to prevent overconsumption and promote responsible service. This rule helps ensure that individuals are not overserved, with bartenders requiring that a second drink be for another person. It is policy focused on safety and reducing rapid intoxication. In Hawaii, it is also illegal to feed sharks. The only exception is for traditional, cultural, or religious practices, primarily to prevent dangerous altercations with sharks. And to prevent these altercations due to shark behavior, protect marine ecosystems, and uphold cultural reverence for sharks. As Aumakua, which are considered ancestral guardians. The ban was enacted to stop commercial tours from baiting sharks, which can cause them to associate humans with food, leading to increased safety risks. In Idaho, it is illegal to sweep dirt from a house to the street. This is illegal because it causes environmental and safety issues, including clogging storm drains, leading to flooding and polluting waterways. Under Idaho law, this is considered a misdemeanor that can result in up to $2,500 in fines and 6 months in jail. People over 88 years old are prohibited from riding motorcycles. In Idaho Falls, this is prohibited for the person's own safety. In Illinois, there are no exceptions for having a rear view mirror decoration. Rear view mirror decorations have been historically prohibited to prevent the obstruction of the driver's view. No wheelbarrow chaining. In Des Plaines, Illinois, it is illegal to chain a wheelbarrow to a tree with a for sale sign. This is specifically used to prevent public property from being used for unauthorized commercial advertising. You cannot make faces at dogs in Illinois, stemming from the Illinois Animal Control Act, which holds owners liable for dog bites or attacks, but provides a defense if the dog was provoked. There is no eating in a burning building. So this is a law in Chicago, Illinois, and it is technically illegal or against local ordinance to eat in a building that is on fire. It was designed to prioritize human safety over finishing a meal. Stinky balls are illegal in Chicago. These are illegal under Municipal Code 7-28-650 because they are considered offensive, noxious, or dangerous devices that create a public nuisance. In Indiana, it is illegal for men to kiss people if they have a mustache. It was historically intended to prevent the spread of germs and diseases, such as during the 1918 influenza outbreak. The legal value of pi is set at 3.2 instead of the typical 3.14. The Indiana House of Representatives in 1897 passed Bill number 246 that proposed a legal value of pi is 3.2, not 3.14, due to a flawed mathematical theory from amateur mathematician Edward J. Goodwin. Happy hours were banned for a long time. In 1985, happy hours were banned to combat rising prices of binge drinking and drunk driving. It followed a trend in the 1980s that was aimed at promoting public safety. The ban lasted for 40 years before being lifted in July of 2024. It is illegal to ride a horse faster than 10 miles per hour on a public road. In Indianapolis, Indiana, it is legal to ride a horse faster than 10 miles per hour because horses are legally classified as vehicles when on the road, subjecting them to traffic safety regulations. In Beech Grove, it is illegal to eat watermelon in city parks. The rule was put in place because the thick, heavy, wet rinds from the watermelons frequently tore through garbage bags and caused a big, sticky mess to clean up from the trash receptacles in order to improve cleanliness. In Iowa, selling or passing off margarine as real butter is illegal and considered a misdemeanor. This is a misdemeanor rooted in historic food labeling laws designed to protect the dairy industry and ensure consumer transparency. These laws originated from the butter versus margarine conflicts, aiming to prevent misrepresentation of a cheaper white-colored substitute as premium dairy butter. In some areas of Iowa, you must obtain written permission from the city council to throw rocks or stones or shoot arrows or air rifles into the street. This is primarily to ensure public safety, protect property, and manage liability. These regulations are enacted under the city's Home Rule Authority to regulate the use of public spaces, with specific reference to Iowa Code Section 364.12 regarding the regulation of public streets and ways. In some areas of Iowa, the operation of ice cream trucks is technically banned. This is primarily due to safety concerns regarding children running into traffic as well as noise complaints. In Kansas, you can't drive your own car in a parade. This regulation regards driving personal vehicles in parades are generally driven by municipal ordinances designed to ensure safety, maintain orderly flow, and manage traffic rather than a single statewide prohibition. In Kentucky, it is illegal to use or display venomous reptiles in religious services, with fines for violations, primarily to ensure public safety and prevent the endangerment of human life, making it a misdemeanor punishable by fines of $50 to $100. These laws, similar to those in other states, were enacted to address risks associated with snake handling, which led to injuries and fatalities during worship services. In Owensboro, a wife needs her husband's consent to buy a hat. This is an old, obsolete blue law dating back to the early 20th century. While often cited in lists of dumb laws or weird Kentucky laws, it is generally considered unenforced and not legally binding statute in modern times. In Frankfort, Kentucky, shooting off a police officer's tie is a crime. It is considered illegal to shoot off a police officer's tie because it is an act of assault and a direct violent provocation. While often cited in lists of ridiculous or weird old laws, this action clearly crosses the line into criminal behavior by targeting a law enforcement officer with physical contact or potentially lethal force. Obscene acts or lewd words are illegal in public to protect public morals, prevent alarm or affront to citizens, and safeguard minors. Such conduct violates state statutes regarding indecent exposure, which is KRS 510.18 or 148 and 510.150, and restrictions on publicly displaying explicit sexual material, as these actions are not protected by the First Amendment. In Louisiana, it is illegal to throw beads from a third-story window. This falls under Mardi Gras rules, primarily due to safety concerns regarding the potential injury to pedestrians and parade riders below. The restriction, often associated with Mardi Gras, aims to prevent dangerous heavy items from striking people, especially if crowds are dense or if participants have been drinking. In Maine, it is legal to advertise in cemeteries or make gravestone rubbings. Primarily, this is to protect structural integrity of historic monuments, to prevent vandalism and maintain sanctity in and around burial grounds. A permit is required to carry a concealed slingshot. It is listed in state statute as a dangerous weapon. In Maine, most money you can win in a poker game is $3. This is a reference to outdated or highly specific small stakes, nonprofit, or home game laws designed to keep games friendly rather than commercial. It is illegal to catch a lobster with bare hands. State law mandates that only be taken using conventional, properly licensed lobster traps. This regulation is a central component to Maine's conservation measures. In Maryland, a man can't buy a drink from a female bartender. This is often attributed to antiquated regulations designed to prevent solicitation or immoral acts in drinking establishments. While listed among wacky Maryland laws, it stems from a time when it was believed that women bartenders needed protection from male patrons. A license is required for fortune telling. This historically stems from local regulations designed to prevent fraud and, in some cases, to control a tax of specific occupations. While Maryland's Supreme Court ruled in 2010 that fortune telling for a fee is protected free speech, some local jurisdictions may still enforce or have it on the books. Licensing regulations for businesses, including psychic services. In Rockville, Maryland, the use of swearing or obscene language is a misdemeanor, specifically on or near streets, sidewalks, or highways. This is a misdemeanor according to Section 13-53 of the City Code. intended to maintain public order, civility, and reduce road rage. It aims to prevent disorderly conduct and ensure public spaces remain respectful. In Massachusetts, it's illegal to scare pigeons near their roosts. It is technically illegal to willfully scare pigeons from their nests or beds prepared for trapping them. The law originated in 1848. This archaic statute was designed to protect the property rights of hunters who would use nets to capture pigeons for food rather than as modern animal welfare measures. Tomatoes are forbidden in traditional New England clam chowder. This is due to deep-rooted culinary, cultural, and historical preferences for a creamy milk-based broth. Adding tomatoes is considered a violation of traditional historic recipes, a sentiment solidified by a mostly humorous 1939 legislative attempt to ban them in the region. It is legal to give beer to hospital patients. This is to prevent the dangerous, unauthorized, or unsupervised consumption that would hinder recovery or interact with treatments. Under MGLC 270, Section 5, delivering alcohol to a patient is a crime unless specifically directed by a physician. In Michigan, it is illegal to sell a car on Sunday. This was passed in Michigan's largest counties. The law was enacted in 1953. It was pushed by auto dealers who wanted the day off. Act 66 was passed with immediate effect and enacted May 12, 1953. It is illegal to be intoxicated on a train. The law was passed in 1913. The law states no person shall, while in an offensive state of intoxication, enter or be on or remain upon any railway train or interurban car as a passenger. It is enforced by train conductors who have the authority to confiscate alcohol if they catch you with it. It's illegal to paint sparrows and sell as parakeets. Primary reason is the prohibition against artificially coloring live animals, which is considered a form of animal cruelty. This falls under Michigan Compiled Laws, or MCL, Section 752.91, which makes it illegal to sell animals which have been dyed or otherwise artificially colored. It is illegal to curse in front of women and children. This was an 1897 law. At the time being deemed a misdemeanor, was overturned in 2002 by the Michigan Court of Appeals. It was ruled that the law was unconstitutional due to the First Amendment. In Minnesota, releasing greased or oiled pigs for capture is prohibited. This is primarily due to animal cruelty concerns as established by a 1971 state law. These events often cause significant stress, injury, or death to the animals, which were frequently changed by crowds squeezed too tightly or harmed by the substances used. It is illegal to loiter around buildings without a legitimate reason. This is primarily to prevent crime, ensure public safety, and maintain access to property. These laws, often stemming from historical anti-vagrancy ordinances, are designed to prohibit individuals from concealing themselves or waiting with the intent to commit crimes like burglary, theft, or mischief. There's law against driving a car neutral. Previously, a 1937 statute made it illegal to coast with gears neutral or with the clutch disengaged on downgrades, but the law was removed to clean up state statutes. This was repealed in 2014. In Mississippi, it is legal to walk a dog not wearing a diaper in Temperance. It is better understood as a local ordinance or more likely a fictitious urban legend that highlights extreme cleanup ordinances. It is legal to sell cat meat. This falls under Mississippi Code 97-21 or -27-19. It's the idea that if any person shall sell or offer for sale as human food the flesh of any animal which shall have died a natural death, or been killed or injured by an accident, or shall sell or offer for sale or ship for sale as human food the flesh of any diseased animal or of any dog, cat, or other like unclean animal, such person shall be fined on conviction not less than $100 and imprisoned not less than 30 days. It is illegal to sell pecans during the harvest season. This falls between typically September 1st to January 31st to protect the livelihoods of farmers and prevent theft from private property and public roadsides, according to SB 2523, signed in 2023. Taking pecans without permission, even if they have fallen onto a public road, is considered larceny because the nuts are considered property of the tree owner until the season ends. It is legal to shave in the center of Main Street in Tylertown. It is a local ordinance designed to maintain public order, safety, and traffic flow. While often cited among the state's bizarre, quirky laws, such as regulations are generally enacted to prevent disruptive, strange, or dangerous public behavior. In Missouri, a $1 tax is imposed on single men between 21 to 50. This is meant to encourage marriage. This was enacted on December 20th, 1820 to encourage marriage, promote family formation, and increase the population of the state law. It is legal to honk at another person's car without consent. This is because the state law restricts the use of horns strictly for safety, or strictly to safety warning purposes, prohibiting unnecessary noise. This legal restriction is designed to reduce noise pollution, prevent public annoyance, and minimize road rage incidents caused by improper horn use. In Montana, it's illegal to drive livestock onto a railroad track with intent to cause damage. It is considered a dangerous, malicious act of vandalism that threatens public safety, railway operations, and animal welfare. Under Montana Code Annotated MCA 81-5-102, this action is specifically prohibited to prevent accidents and damage to railroad property. Distilleries are limited to serving customers with 2 ounces of spirits per day, often referred to as samples due to its status as a control state focused on moderating alcohol consumption rather than promoting it. This 2-ounce limit combined is designed to allow tasting while limiting on-premises consumption as at the manufacturing site. It is also illegal to lasso or while fishing, according to Heenan and Cook trial lawyers who supply attorneys for those in need during a case. Using a lasso to catch fish can injure or kill them, and it is not a sustainable method of fishing. Some sources claim that fish are capable of feeling pain and experiencing trauma. According to PETA, they are scared, in pain, and fighting for their lives. In Nebraska, it's illegal to operate an aircraft with a significant blood level alcohol. This specifically is set to 0.04% or higher, primarily to ensure safety, as alcohol consumption severely impairs cognitive and physical abilities required to pilot a plane, such as judgment, reaction time, and vision. Operating an aircraft under the influence of alcohol or having a blood alcohol concentration, BAC, of 0.05 or more is classified as a criminal offense under Nebraska state law, mirroring strict Federal Aviation Administration FAA regulations. The sale of donut holes was banned in Lay. It was banned from 1887 until 1997 because local officials deemed them a waste and believed selling the center of a donut constituted undue profit. This archaic, puritanical, and somewhat mysterious law was finally repealed after a radio host brought the attention to the rule. In Nevada, it's illegal to ride a camel on the highway. This is primarily due to historical safety concerns, where camels block traffic, causing hazards for motorists. This regulation dates back to the 19th century, when camels were used for transportation and construction, and when they posed a disruption to increasingly common automobiles. It is legal to sit or lie down on sidewalks in Reno, primarily to maintain public safety, to ensure accessibility, and protect the economic vitality of the downtown area, as outlined in the Reno Municipal Code Title 8, Chapter 8.2 or 8.12. These ordinances, often enforced to prevent obstruction of pedestrian traffic, reduce blight, were expanded citywide in January 2025 to include areas like the Truckee River, parks, and doorways. It is legal to spray paint shopping carts in basement. This specific regulation was enacted to curb a local trend of stealing, altering, and hiding shopping carts. This law serves as a crackdown on the illegal possession and concealment of stolen property. In New Hampshire, there is no dancing in taverns. The restriction on dancing in taverns is not a universal ban, but rather a regulatory issue based on state liquor laws, local municipal code, or municipal approvals, and fire safety codes. There is no nighttime seaweed harvesting. This stems from colonial-era regulations designed to ensure fair access and safety. There is no cell phone use for drivers under 18. Drivers under 18 are prohibited from using any handheld or hands-free electronic communication devices while driving to reduce distracted driving crashes, injuries, and fatalities among inexperienced drivers. This law, which includes texting, talking, and using navigation, is stricter for adults to ensure young drivers to focus on the road. In New Jersey, selling ice cream is prohibited after 6 p.m. without doctor note. It originated in the early 1900s. It is designed to restrict too fun or indulgent behaviors on the Sabbath, though today it is not enforced. Car dealerships are forbidden to open on Sunday. It is legal under blue laws for car dealerships to open on Sundays originating in colonial times to ensure a day of rest. Because banks are also closed on Sunday, financing and processing auto loans is difficult and making auto sales impractical. It is legal to delay or to detain homing pigeons. They are considered protected private property rather than wild birds under new NJSA 23-4-54. This law protects the investment and training of pigeons. Racing hobbyists. Minors can't be sold handcuffs, primarily used as a public safety measure to prevent young ones from possessing potentially hazardous restraint devices. You can lose privilege of personalized play. This can be due to violating MVC regulations regarding offensive content or by attempting to use combinations which are already taken or reserved, not to mention a conviction for a serious traffic offense like a DWI within the past 10 years. In New Mexico, the improper use of anthems, it is a petty misdemeanor to perform the Star Spangled Banner or the state song of New Mexico in a public place or assembly unless played or sung in its entirety as a separate composition. Modifying dancing to or using anthems as exit music is illegal. Las Cruces lunchbox rule. It is often cited as a quirky, unenforced, or historic law that it is illegal to carry a lunchbox down Main Street. This local legend suggests may have been related to old anti-panhandling or security measures regarding hidden items, although it is not currently enforced. Tripping a horse. It is legal to intentionally trip a horse, mule, or donkey using a rope, wire, pole, or other object, causing it to lose balance or fall, according to New Mexico Statutes Chapter 30-18-11. This act is considered a misdemeanor, but if it results in the maiming, crippling, or death of the animal, is classified as a 14th degree felony. Christmas Day alcohol sales. It is legal to sell, deliver, or offer for sale alcoholic beverages in unbroken packages off-premise sales on Christmas Day, according to New Mexico State law, Justia law. Package sales are prohibited on Christmas. You may purchase alcohol in advance, as liquor stores, supermarkets, and similar retailers cannot sell packaged liquor on that day. Political signs on right-of-way. The state law generally prohibits placing political signs within the highway right-of-way, and such signs may be removed immediately without notice, while some local municipalities like Albuquerque may allow temporary signs in specific public areas during election seasons. Placing signs in state-controlled highway rights-of-way is illegal and noted in Facebook posts and NM Admin Code 18.20.5.15. In New York, it's illegal to sell baby chicks, ducklings, or baby rabbits if dyed or painted. Under Agricultural and Market Law 354, it is illegal because the process falls under animal cruelty. New York banned taking photos of big cats in 2014. New York banned tiger selfies, direct in-person contact photos with big cats to protect public safety and prevent animal cruelty. It is illegal to shake a dust mop out a window in New York City, primarily due to sanitation, safety, and nuisance regulations. This is aimed at keeping dust, debris, and allergens off of property and pedestrians. It's illegal to throw a ball at someone's head for fun. This would be considered assault and would cause physical harm. It's also due to a specific law, New York Penal Law 245.05, which originated to protect carnival workers. In North Carolina, stealing pine needles or pine straw is a Class H felony. It is a significant commercial industry, often referred to as brown gold, with a $35 million+ annual value. Happy hour specials are restricted primarily to combat drunk driving. A policy enacted by ABC Commission on August 1985, state regulations prohibit discounting alcohol for limited periods, requiring any drink of special to be offered for the entire business day to discourage binge drinking. It's illegal to hold a meeting while wearing a mask or disguise. This is to prevent intimidation or ensure accountability in public spaces. Originally enacted in 1953 to curb the Ku Klux Klan's use of disguises, the law aims to prevent secret, threatening, or unlawful gatherings. Bingo games are prohibited from lasting longer than 5 hours to prevent commercialized gambling and to ensure that bingo remains a charitable nonprofit activity rather than a for-profit enterprise. Drug dealers are required to pay taxes on the substances they sell, according to North Carolina General Statute 90-95. A dealer is someone found with quantities of illegal substances beyond what might be considered for personal use. This includes individuals with over 42.5 grams of marijuana, which is roughly more than 1.5 ounces. In North Dakota, it's illegal to lie down and fall asleep with your shoes on. The law is believed to have originated from old vagrancy laws in the early 1900s. Such laws were designed to prevent public nuisance or to target individuals perceived as transients or hooligans. The use of fireworks is prohibited after 11 p.m. or midnight in some jurisdictions, primarily designed to balance holiday celebrations with public safety, fire prevention, and the need for quiet hours. Limited alcohol sales on Sunday. This law does stem from historical blue laws designed to encourage religious observance, maintain a day of rest, and prevent excessive consumption. In Ohio, it is legal to fish for whales on Sunday. Why is this a weird law? There are no whales in Ohio. It is a misdemeanor to throw a ball in the street of Toledo, a section of the current Toledo Municipal Code, which predates 1952, making it a misdemeanor to throw, pitch, toss, knock, or bat any ball in or along street, lane, or highway in the city, or play a game of ball therein. In Oklahoma, there's law against harassing Bigfoot. In the town of Honobia, it is against the law to harass Bigfoot. The law pays homage to the folklore, cultural legacy, and tourism of the area. Don't carry a fish in a fishbowl in public. This law specifically is enlaced for being on a public bus, or in place for being on a public bus. However, local transit rules may vary, and it is advisable to check with the bus service for their policies regarding transporting animals or fish. In Oregon, it's illegal to use a single-person public restroom unless assisting a child, elderly person, or disabled person, specifically in Portland, Oregon. City Code 14A.50.110 prohibits occupying a single-person public restroom with more than one person unless one individual is assisting a child, elderly person, or someone with a disability. Ordinance in Hood River technically prohibits juggling against the law when doing it without a license. It's not something that's usually enforced, but the rule is still on the books. Pennsylvania, it's illegal to ride a boat while being towed on a highway. According to 75 PA Constat 3706, no person or persons shall occupy a house, trailer, mobile home, or boat while it is being towed upon the highway. This law specifically prohibits occupying a boat on a trailer while in transit on public roads. It is legal to catch fish with bare hands. According to the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission's regulations, fishing is only permitted using specific authorized devices. In Rhode Island, it is legal to throw pickle juice on a trolley. It likely originates from the old municipal ordinances regarding public disturbance, vandalism, and nuisance public transit property. South Carolina, it's illegal for a man over 16 years old to seduce an unmarried woman processing marriage, primarily because the statute is designed to uphold traditional moral standards regarding sexual conduct and protect women from deceptive, fraudulent behavior. Minors under 18 are technically not allowed to play pinball machines. This is primarily due to archaic 1959 to 1960 era laws. The law was enacted because pinball was historically associated with gambling. Public dance halls are prohibited from operating between midnight Saturday and midnight Sunday, according to South Carolina Code Title 52, Chapter 13. This is primarily due to historic blue laws rooted in Christian traditions. Playing dominoes on Sunday is banned. It is restricted under, again, the archaic blue laws, Section 53-1-40, that prohibits certain worldly labor and recreational activities on the Sabbath. In South Dakota, using radios or cell phones or any other electronic device to communicate while hunting big game, small game, or migratory waterfowl is illegal. This is restricted to uphold the fair chase principles, ensuring technology does not provide an unfair advantage in locating or taking game. In Yankton, it is illegal to mar, injure, or deface newly laid concrete. According to the Yankton County Code of Ordinances, specifically Section 16-76, formerly Rev. Ords 1949 7.0501, it is unlawful to willingly or maliciously break, cut, mar, injure, deface, or in any manner damage or destroy any sidewalk, pavement, curb, or gutter, or other public property of the city. In Tennessee, it's illegal to import skunks. This is primarily to prevent the spread of rabies. It is illegal to shoot any game from a moving vehicle. This is primarily for reasons of public safety, ethical hunting practices, and fair chase principles. Tennessee Code 70-4-109 specifically prohibits hunting from motorized vehicles, including cars, ATVs, and boats under power. It is legal to sell hollow logs This is to prevent the spread of invasive pests and diseases. These regulations are designed to protect Tennessee's forests from infestations like the emerald ash borer and Asian longhorn beetle. In Texas, the sale of human organs is prohibited, which this does seem like common sense, but anywho, according to the Texas Penal Code, Section 48.02, it is against the law to sell human organs. It's illegal and sometimes to eat your neighbor's garbage. This would fall under any state or city ordinance regarding dumpster diving or trash picking, and some cities have the ordinance against sitting on sidewalks. In Galveston, Texas, you can be hit with a fine of $500 just for sitting on the sidewalk. In Utah, there's no hands-free cycling. The law requires cyclists to keep at least one hand on the handlebars at all times. It's legal to serve alcohol during government-declared emergency. This is legal because to serve, sell, or furnish alcohol during a government-declared emergency, as the Director of the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Services publicly announces and directs that such sales are prohibited in the area. Ordinance against throwing rocks, manure, stones, gravel, dirt, and garbage in Logan, Utah. This is due to avoid endangering, frightening, or annoying travelers or cause damage to public or private property. Marrying your first cousin is legal if both parties are over 65. First cousin marriage is generally illegal to prevent genetic defects in offspring, but is allowed if both parties are 65 or older. According to the state code, biting is illegal in boxing. According to Utah State Code, biting is illegal in boxing because it is considered an intentional foul that poses a danger to the safety of fighters, constitutes unprofessional conduct, and is determined for best interests of unarmed combat. In Vermont, imitation butter had to be dyed pink. In 1884, Vermont passed a law requiring imitation butter and margarine to be dyed bright pink to make it look unappetizing and distinguished from real dairy butter. No banning clotheslines. In 2009, Vermont passed a right to dry law that makes it illegal for homeowner associations, condominium associations, and housing complexes owners to ban the use of clotheslines for drying laundry, and fossil fuel companies must pay for climate change damages. Vermont enacted Climate Superfund Act in 2024, becoming the first U.S. state to force large fossil fuel companies to pay climate-related damage. In Virginia, it is legal to spit in public places. It's punishable as a Class 4 misdemeanor. Sunday hunting is banned for most animals, with raccoons as an exception until 2 a.m. This is a restriction for most animals stemming from historical blue laws dating back to colonial times. It is illegal to wash a mule on a sidewalk in Culpeper. It's part of a historical specific regulation aimed at maintaining public cleanliness, safety, and preventing public nuisance on sidewalks. It's illegal to spit on a seagull in Norfolk, primarily due to broader archaic public health ordinances against spitting in public spaces. It's illegal to write on cave walls, primarily to protect the fragile, non-renewable, and unique natural ecosystems found within them. Washington state bans professional wrestling that isn't legitimate. Historically, it's been regulated for professional wrestling under the same strict, expensive, and bureaucratic laws as legitimate combative sports like boxing and MMA, making it functionally impossible for smaller, non-traditional, independent wrestling shows to operate. Illegal to break bottles in public because it constitutes littering and creates significant hazards in public. No illicit or unpermitted picnicking, specifically in state parks and certain local municipalities, restricted to protect the natural aesthetic and scenic values. And Linden dancing is not allowed in places that sell alcohol. The restriction on dancing in establishments that sells alcohol stems from a 1981 city ordinance rooted in conservative community values and concerns. In West Virginia, it is legal for residents to take roadkill home, primarily to reduce waste and utilize animals killed in accidents. Under West Virginia State Code 20-2-4, sleeping on a train is prohibited, generally interpreted as an antiquated, rarely enforced statute related to public safety, passenger conduct, and anti-vagrancy. People who have participated in a duel are not allowed to hold public office. Article 4, Section 10 of the state constitution prohibits anyone who has fought, aided, or accepted a challenge for a duel with a deadly weapon from holding any public office of honor, trust, or profit. In Wisconsin, it's illegal to serve margarine in place of butter in restaurants. This law was passed in 1895 because it was believed to be a threat to the dairy industry. It remained illegal for almost 75 years until being decriminalized in 1967. It's illegal to shoot animals from an airplane. The practice was made illegal by Congress. The practice is considered barbaric and unethical and violates the ethical hunting standard of a fair chase. In Wyoming, it's illegal for a tattoo a horse with the intent of making it unrecognizable. It is considered a felony offense aimed at preventing livestock theft and enabling identification. It's illegal to use a firearm to catch fish. It is classified as unlawful, unethical, and destructive method of taking wildlife, violating state statutes. It is considered a form of poaching, snagging that does not allow for fair chase and can be indiscriminately harm fish populations. It's illegal to be drunk in a mine. This is to ensure safety, as intoxication while working in a hazardous, high-risk environment like mines, smelters, or mills is a criminal offense. That's all I have for today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button. And if you know someone who might like it, please forward it to them. If there's a topic you want to see in a future video, please leave it in the comment section below. And I hope y'all have a great day. Bye!